All right, while those pistons are sitting in the chem dip, getting all cleaned up, we're gonna get this thing prepped, ready to go. We're gonna tape off the top of the cylinders. We're gonna get this thing a nice coat of primer, a coat of paint, and make this thing look pretty. Don't have to go too crazy here with the tape, but you do want to tape off the surface that the gasket's going to be sitting on. You definitely don't want to have paint there, because that's just going to give us extra work. Cover the front too. We don't want that to get. Now, the easiest thing would have been to just get the old oil pan, and just throw the old oil pan up there, but we don't have it. So, guess we will just tape it off. Now we're gonna grab a razor blade, just cut the extra off here. Because we're using the 45-degree angle oil filter housing, we need to remove this. All right, there we go. Whew, kind of tight, huh? I've seen some videos where people just cut these off. They just take their grinder or their cutoff wheel and just cut them off. And that is probably not the best thing to be doing. All right. Perfect, there we go. Perfect. So we're just gonna set this in place. We're gonna have to put new gaskets on that. I mean, new O-rings on that. We're gonna clean it up. But I just wanna set it in place just so it's where it needs to be so that we can just kind of touch up the paint. So this is just gonna sit right like that. And these are just 3 8mm bolts. So actually, what we're gonna need to do is, these are threaded, but we gotta clean out those threads. So let's give this a little bit of lubrication. There we go. Let's just clean these out. So because this was the Ram, it didn't have this housing on it. So these were already drilled and tapped, but there was no housing, so these were just kind of left open to the elements. So we want to just kind of clean those up a little bit so we can get those bolts in there. Always be careful when you're doing this. You don't want crap to get down into the things, into the engine. So, and again, always give it a little bit of extra spray. It makes things go a lot easier. Little trick too, when you're doing this, you're gonna wanna go in, and as it starts to bind, reverse it just a little bit. Allow those threads to do the work. Don't ever force one of these in there. If you force one of these into there and it snaps off, you're in for one hell of a swearing fest, because those are not fun to try to drill those out. Ask me how I know that. We're just gonna snug these down just to keep the housing from getting paint in it. Perfect. Well, we got the motor all painted up, and I saved you the trouble of 3 hours worth of cleaning all of the parts. So that's one of the things you got to do, and it's a suck job, and you just got to get through it. So here's the motor all painted up. Hemi Orange. Looking good. So I opted to actually paint the timing cover. This is usually an aluminum, but I kind of wanted to give it that orange look. I'll actually have the water pump will remain the aluminum color, and we're going to keep the block orange. And I think what we're going to do is leave the heads aluminum with the black valve covers and the black intake. I think that'll look pretty good. So other than that, got all of our rocker shafts all cleaned up, ready to rock and roll. All the push rods, those are all cleaned up. All the pistons, ready to go. Main caps, all cleaned. Everything's lubed up, WD-40. So what I'm gonna do next is once the engine is dry, and I'll pull off all of the tape, we're going to start getting our rings gapped appropriately and get those on the pistons, and we'll go from there. So in the next video, what I'll do is we will go through the process of gapping all of the rings, how to make sure that they fit appropriately in the cylinder walls. And so we'll get the rings all put on the pistons. We'll have the new connecting rod bearings, because unfortunately the bearings that I got in were the wrong size. So we'll have new connecting rod bearings. We'll get the pistons all set, new rod bearings. Those will be all set, ready to go. We'll have the main bearings ready to rock and roll. And at that point, we can basically start putting this together. So I'm pretty excited. So stay tuned. And again, guys, I appreciate you sticking around for all of this. You know, I appreciate all the likes, the comments, even the shares and stuff. So I hope you stick around for the rest of the build, and till next time.